Your headlines, your campus, your voice. Presented by RMU students for RMU students. Join us as RMU Live begins now.
Better grab a coat. We have another 6 weeks of winter ahead. Well, that's according to the famous groundhog Punxsutawney Phil.
Phil emerged from his burrow at Gobbler's Knob this morning before thousands of fans and saw his shadow. According to legend, that means winter will continue. If the groundhog did not see a shadow, we would have an early spring.
And it's no surprise to many experts say that Phil sees his shadow 80% of the time, so 6 more weeks of winter it is. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to RMU Live for Tuesday, February 2nd, 2010. I'm Jake Neal.
And I'm Kevin Williams. Thanks for joining us. Punxsutawney Phil's predictions date all the way back to 1887, but how accurate is he? To look at the meteorological aspect of it, we now have Channing Frampton here. Now, Channing, how exactly accurate are some of these predictions by Punxsutawney Phil?
Well, Kevin, you know, it's that time of the year. It's kind of an awkward time for a groundhog to be giving forecasts. Given that Punxsutawney sees 16 to 20 days in February with cloudy weather, the chances of seeing a shadow from the sun, they're not that great. But what do you know, with all those cameras and flash bulbs out there this morning, he saw a shadow. Now, this is the 99th time he's seen his shadow out of the 114 times that Phil has given his forecast. That puts his accuracy at about 39% given the climatological history of western Pennsylvania. Now, for the accurate forecast coming up, we'll have Frampton's forecast, which I'll have your 5-day, coming up here in just a little bit. Let's see what else is going on in the wonderful world of news. Kevin?
Bill Strickland, the nationally renowned president of the Manchester Bidwell Corp, spoke on RMU campus today before a packed Massey Theater. Strickland's lecture, titled "Make the Impossible Possible," was drawn from his book of the same name, in which Strickland uses his life story and the stories of others to demonstrate how people can overcome their circumstances to achieve their goals and transform their lives of others. The book grew out of lectures Strickland gave at Harvard Business School. The first 250 people arrived received a free copy of Strickland's book.
And it's hard to believe, but Valentine's Day is just around the corner. For those who have not yet gotten anything for their sweetheart, the RMU women's field hockey team is selling roses in Romo's Cafe all week.
Well, basically, for the next 2 weeks, everyone can pre-order their roses, and then over Valentine's weekend, we will deliver them anywhere on campus for you. Or if you're a commuter student, you can pick them up on Friday, or even if you want to on the weekend, and deliver them yourself. This is a fundraiser for the field hockey team so that we can go to Australia in this coming December. So we're selling Valentine's roses. We'll be in Romo's Cafe Mondays through Friday, 12 to 2 and 5 to 7 every day for the next 2 weeks, till the 14th.
Roses are $3 each, and as Haley said, you can get them all this week from noon to 2 p.m. and 6 to 8 p.m. in Romo's Cafe.
Many of you may have noticed that there is a new to-go option for students who wish to take their food out of the food court. Our own Ed Albert got to the bottom of this situation. Here's more.
Students we've talked to are quite pleased with the new developments in eco-friendly food services.
Well, I don't have an eco-friendly container myself, but I know my roommate has one, and I steal hers on occasion just so I can bring back the food to the dorm, and it makes it a lot easier, and we don't have to steal plates from the cafeteria anymore.
I like the idea. Unfortunately, they're touting them as this big new thing, but they're requiring students to pay for them. I think for them to brag about it, this should be a service they offer instead of charging us for it.
In my opinion, I think it's going great. I've never heard one negative comment about the whole thing at all.
Has it been hard between for students to come in and ask for them or to trade them in for the chip? Is any problems going on through that?
No, that's real simple. All they need to do is bring in their dirties, weave and wash them and sanitize them for them, take it to the cashier first off. They get their chip and just come through the line. They ask for it to go. We put it in a new, clean, sanitized box for them.
Even here in the cafeteria, the overall feeling is that the eco-friendly containers have had an overall good impact here on campus. I'm Ed Albert reporting for RMU Live.
In other news tonight, Congressman John Murtha is in serious condition tonight. Days after gallbladder surgery, the 77-year-old Pennsylvania representative is at Virginia Hospital Center in Arlington. Right now, Murtha is in intensive care from complications that resulted from that surgery. The 19-term Democrat was the first Vietnam veteran to serve in Congress. He leads the powerful House Appropriations Subcommittee on Defense Spending. And police are looking for a Beaver Falls man in connection with a Sunday morning carjacking in Rochester. This happened on California Avenue around 3 o'clock Sunday morning. Police say that 27-year-old James Peanut Wilkins forced Evan Harvey, who was dropping off another person at Wilkins' residence, to take him to Freedom, Beaver County. When they arrived in Freedom, Harvey escaped as Wilkins fired 5 shots into a house. No one was hurt. If you have any information, you are urged to contact police.
You may want to head out and grab a few lottery tickets tonight. The Mega Millions lottery is coming to Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania Lottery's official announced that last week after officials of both the Powerball and Mega Millions lottery have agreed to sell in each other's territories. The odds of winning the Mega Millions jackpot are 1 in 175 million, which is slightly better than Powerball. Drawings will be held every Tuesday and Friday starting tonight. Tonight's estimated jackpot is $12 million and tickets are $1 each. And coming up after the break, a massive auto recall in one of the military's most controversial policies is up for review.
Plus, Channing Frampton is here with your forecast, and Brooks Bratton's got the latest in sports. But first, here's what's happened on this day in history.
Takeout meals for just $12.99. Call now.
Sherry Pearson. You are the sole surviving heir of the King of Montanopolis, and you are now worth $45 million.
I'm rich. This can't be real.
Of course it's not real. Come on. Having money isn't about luck. Like that takeout meal. Cook at home instead, you can save thousands a year. Feed me. Feed the pig.
Get your Smokey on. If you see someone in danger of starting a wildfire, step in and make a difference. Because 9 out of 10 wildfires can be prevented.
Only you can prevent wildfire.
Now more fallout from Toyota recalls and gas pedal problems. Toyota sales fell 8.7% in the month of January. In fact, sales of the Camry, last year's most popular car, went off 17.7% last month. Toyota suspended sales of its top 8 models just 5 days before the close of the month. Next month's figures could be devastating to the automaker. Meanwhile, if Ford Motors is actually turning a profit, Ford says sales rose 25% in January. They say the increase is fueled by an improving economy as well as Toyota suspending sales on 8 models. Just 2 days into February, and Ford says car sales have rising 43% and SUV sales 15%. Sources also report that sales were up 14% for General Motors.
It's a huge step for our nation's military, repealing the military's controversial Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy regarding gay and lesbian service members. Defense Secretary Robert Gates told members of the Senate Armed Services Committee today that the Pentagon has taken the initial steps to repeal the law, which restricts openly gay, lesbian, and bisexual individuals from serving in the military, but also restricts members of the military from asking another sexual orientation. President Obama first announced during last week's State of the Union address of the initiative to repeal the law, which was enacted by President Clinton in 1993. A Greek-owned ship held captive for months by Somali pirates was finally set free yesterday. The MV Filitsa and its 22 crew members who were captured in early November were set free Monday after their captors received a ransom paid by the ship's owner, Order Shipping Company. The European Union's Anti-Piracy Task Force, NAV4, issued a statement confirming that the ransom had been paid and the ship freed, but did not say how much the ransom was. All 22 crew members were unharmed.
Chinese officials have threatened to issue sanctions against the U.S. China, who has been a longtime rivals of American ally Taiwan, issued a threat to U.S. Ambassador John Huntsman to express their anger over American companies which supply Taiwan with arms. Beijing has also suspended plans for visits between the two nations. Xinhua News reports that China will make further judgments as appropriate.
Now, Punxsutawney Phil might have said this morning that we had 6 more weeks of winter, but it actually was not too bad today. Still a cold winter day, but not terribly freezing like it has been.
That's true. It wasn't too bad today. Still a little bit on the frosty side, though. I'm hoping that hopefully things will turn around. Let's take it to Channing and see if our predictions are, well, hopefully will come true.
Well, gentlemen, if you can hang out until March 20th, that's when spring will officially be here. And you and I and the rest of Moon Township here are probably looking forward to that day. But I can tell you right now that temperatures will be moderating throughout the rest of this week. Our high today was 38 degrees with a low of 27, which puts us above normal this time of year when we usually should see 36 and 20 degrees. It'd be nice to see a record of 62 degrees. But we're going to stay away from that -7 for right now. Let's take a look at the temperatures right now. 31 degrees here in Moon Township. Our dew point's running about 22. Humidity is at 67%, and our pressure is holding steady at 30.1 inches. Winds are out of the northwest at 2 miles per hour, so the wind chills aren't nearly as bad as what they were earlier last week. And for around the rest of the area, it looks like temperatures are holding around 30 degrees at New Kensington, 30 in Greensburg, 31 in Washington and Burgettstown. Cool spots, Butler and Katanning at 29 degrees and 30 at home in Beaver Falls. Our temperatures around the rest of the region look like this: 38 degrees in Columbus, Ohio, with 29 in Detroit, 30 in Cleveland and Erie. Fort Wayne, Indiana, seeing 34 degrees. Charleston, West Virginia, 32. And Lexington, Kentucky is holding steady at 36 degrees with the high pressure system that's over the area. Snow showers will continue into tonight as a system moves to our south, with our temperature holding at 33 degrees for tomorrow. Snow showers will be continuing throughout tomorrow and tomorrow evening as temperatures fall to 22 degrees tonight. And for your 5-day forecast, temperatures look like this: 36 degrees on Thursday and Friday with a little bit of sunshine. Snow showers will return this weekend with a high of 33 on Saturday. That's all I've got for you for the Frampton forecast, so hopefully things will be moderating by the end of next week, but that's all I have for you now. Let's take a look at sports.
All right, thank you, Channing. Now, Brooks, what do you have coming up for us in sports?
Well, it seems like every time I talk to you guys, I have good news about the Penguins, which certainly isn't a bad thing. Coming up in sports, the Penguins have a productive weekend, to say the least, against the Red Wings and Sabres. And there we are. The Super Bowl is just around the corner, and also some NFL concussion talk. That's up next after the break. But first, here is our Athlete of the Week.
Really? Yeah, it's totally gay. You know, you really shouldn't say that. Say what? Well, say that something's gay when you mean it's bad. It's insulting. What if every time something was bad, everybody said, "Oh, that's so girl wearing a skirt as a top"? Oh, you are. Those are cute jeans, though. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
I'm lucky. Let me help you with that. I get to do something I love. It has nothing to do with touchdowns or titles. Everybody bring it in. I get to play a part in the life of someone just starting out. How many of you think homework is just as important as teamwork? I help keep kids in school. Good. And that's the name of the game. My name is LaDainian Thomason. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer. Live United.
With the university going through some budget cuts and some fiscal responsibility, we here at CSC have been asked to tighten up our belts as well.
And the Colonials are taking on Monmouth next Saturday afternoon. And in other football news, former running back Devin Wilson of the Colonials has decided to...
But I think we're going to be all right.
Busy offseason getting himself elected to a local football Hall of Fame. But now the Robert Morris coach is focused on the Colonials' regular season as they kick off a 2006 campaign.
In 1977, an 8-year-old boy picked up the game of golf from his father. The odds of that same boy then making it to the US and European Pro Golf Tours? 1 in 7 million. The odds of the Big Easy winning the US Open twice? 1 in 1.2 billion. The odds of him having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 150. Ernie Els encourages you to learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Over the past 2 seasons, the Penguins and Red Wings matchups have become some of the most anticipated over the course of the season. Sunday afternoon marked the first time that the two had met since Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals back on June 12th, and although this game didn't have the same implications on the line, the two were anxious to play one another once again. So to the Igloo we go. Mario Lemieux and Pierre LaRouche in the box. Wake up there, Pierre. Take it up in the first. Alex Goligoski is going to find Sidney Crosby streaking to the net, and Sid tucks it around Jimmy Howard and into the cage, his 34th 1-0 Pens. Midway through the third, same score, Brad Stewart is going to let it fly from the point, and the pride of Coboneer, Newfoundland, Danny Cleary tips it past Marc-Andre Fleury. 1-1. This heads to a shootout after Letang and Datsuk fail to score. Crosby in on Howard. Pop goes the Weasel. Pens take the lead in the shootout, and after Jason Williams is stopped by Fleury, Evgeny Malkin can win it. Slow as molasses on the way in, but he's able to freeze Howard just enough and sneaks it past the outstretched pad for the victory. Pens win 2-1 the final. The Penguins are now 7-0 in shootouts on the campaign. And the very next night, the Buffalo Sabres were in town. Sabres and Pens for the third time this season. Someone got creative with the magic markers there. 1-1 in the first. Derek Roy dishes off to Thomas Vanek coming in down the wing, and he makes no mistake, beating Fleury top shelf. 2-1 Buffalo. Second period, now 3-1 Sabres, and Sidney Crosby takes over. 3 goals in 8 minutes. There's 1, there's 2, and the caps the Hattie on the 2-on-1. His 35th, 36th, and 37th on the year. A plethora of items on the ice. Pens lead 5-3, 5-4 now on the third. Sabres pressing when Thomas Vanek turns and fires, steered away by Fleury. That would be all she wrote. Pens win for the second time in as many days. 5-4 the final. Crosby's third hat trick of the season, 5th of his career. Sid now tied with Patrick Marleau for the league lead in goals with 37. Penguins are off again until Saturday against Montreal. With the Super Bowl less than a week away, a congressional hearing today raised provocative questions about the safety of students playing football. Professional athletes who have played in the NFL have suffered traumatic brain injuries, and they're not alone. Today, legislators heard stories of high school and college players who were seriously hurt. Lee Frichelli has more.
He's known for oil changes in Sugar Land these days, but Houston Oilers fans knew Greg Bingham as number 54, the Iron Man. But a stroke hit him by surprise just a couple of years ago.
All those hits just added up, and there's a vistula in my brain, and it was rubbing on the inside of my head, and it ruptured.
Stories like Bingham's
in my son's situation
were told to a congressional panel held in the Texas Medical Center today.
And for all I know, it held the balance of whether my son might have survived that injury or not.
Dick Benson's son died from a concussion on the field, another case of traumatic brain injury to a young football player.
And the one proven method to prevent concussions is stay off the field. So that's what I tell my best friends.
Tackling what's happening on the field, the committee heard a lot of advice, like putting a doctor at every high school.
Why don't we have a requirement?
I think if the federal government knew, it would be an excellent requirement, just as
the federal, did you say the federal government? Oh, in other words, you're shifting the blame on the committee.
Oh, no, sir, no.
But why doesn't one of these conferences, or some conference, have a standard that's different than the NCAA that shows they care more about the players than another? Because the fact is they don't.
The NFL now requires players who show signs of concussion to be removed from a game or practice. One athlete told us even if a player won't speak up, his teammates will.
When you get back to the huddle and you're floating around, trust me, one of us is going to see it, and it is unbelievable how fast we snitch on each other when it comes to that, because that is something that's very important.
Thanks, Brooks. We now go to RMU Live's Ernie Bernard with commentary on a current event that is pressing, breaking, and just plain annoying. The views expressed do not reflect the views or opinions of RMU-TV. Here's my 2 cents.
I love movies. I love watching them. I love making them. I love telling a story. That's the one thing I hate the most about when people are talking about what's wrong with movies because it's anti-this or pro-that. The newest movie under attack? James Cameron's Avatar. There's people out there that are saying that the film is too left and promotes anti-religious and pro-environmental, and let's not forget, anti-military. This is insane. Are you really going to tell me somebody who has family in the Marines is anti-military? The other thing that's driving me crazy is the pro-environmental. No, really? A movie that's made about protecting the power source is pro-environment. Really? I didn't figure this out. Look, it's just a movie. All it's supposed to do is entertain people, nothing else. If it wanted to make a point, it's just come out and say so. So please, stop preaching of the evils of movies just because you don't like them. But hey, that's just my 2 cents. Now, where's my 3D glasses?
And that is all the time we have this evening. Thanks so much for joining us.
Don't forget to catch Colonial Sports Center here on RMU-TV this Thursday at 9:30, and we'll see you back here for more RMU Live 1 week from today, Tuesday at 5:30. From all of us here at RMU-TV, have a great night.